Hello and welcome to the syllabus review and the course review, which I'll do towards the end. I really like going over the syllabus a little bit more in detail. This used to be part of the intro video, but I've kind of changed it now to make it its own video because the syllabus is our guide to get from where we're at today to the final. It covers expectations, it covers do's and don'ts, it covers a lot of information that nobody ever explained to me when I was a student, which I'm still a student, but it helps have a good syllabus. So let's get started. Again, my name is Richard Young. You can call me Richard or Professor. I don't have a PhD, so Richard's fine. This is an asynchronous class, which is a really important issue. Asynchronous means there's no time. That means that you're responsible for your time management, and that if there's a holiday, there'll still be homework due that week because, like, Monday is a holiday coming up, but yet you still have 6 other days to do work. So there's no in-class meeting. Everything's up to you. Do not wait to the last minute to do things because you might have technical problems. Things might come up. My suggestion is just do a little bit every couple of days. You'll be fine. I try to open up most things for a week to 2 weeks. You have plenty of time to do them. The midterm, for example, I think is open for a week to 2 weeks. The finals open a week to 2 weeks, so you have plenty of time to do that. Here's my cell phone number. Let me actually highlight it. Please only text or call me between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. You need to tell me who you are, like your name, and what section you're in, like 1006, or I'm in IS 335. Because I've probably never texted you before. So just give me a little background information and also what problems you're having. My office phone, that's my home office phone. Feel free to call it. Most of the time I'm home, most of the time, I'll answer, but that's always a given. A lot of times I'm in meetings. Before you text me or before you call me, try using the book as a resource. Try using the web, ChatGPT, and then call me or text me. I'm here to help you. Now, I'm trying to think what else to cover here. So the big parts of this course are, I don't know if I have any, basically Excel, statistics, and SQL. Mostly stats. I don't think I particularly call out Excel in this part. Yep, all right, there, I see it here. Excel. So I don't want you taking a lot of tests in this class because, again, in 10 years and working in business, my boss doesn't come to me and give me tests. That does not happen in the real world. I want you to be able to leave this class and maybe not get a job, at least be as real and be as ready as possible to do things in the real world, to make money, to be happy and get a job you want. I don't want you to be stuck in a boring job because you have no skills. I would feel horrible if this class led you to do that. I'd rather teach you good skills that are useful, that can translate to business, that I'd want to hire people, other people would like to hire people. And right now that is basically Excel. And statistics just kind of figures out what am I looking at, and kind of SQL. Now there's some things related to that. You have to be able to present your ideas. You have to be able to sell me an idea. You have to be able to analyze data on your own. But for the key parts, that's really what we're looking for. I think those are the most important things. Yeah. So most of the class is Excel, like I said, and a little bit of SQL. There's only 2 sections on SQL. There's one section kind of on the theory of SQL, and only one section on doing SQL. There is a way I want you to present graphs or visualizations. I don't care if you use Tableau, Power BI. I don't care if you use some other website. When you show me a chart, I want to see a chart. When you're trying to communicate something to me, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Show me a picture. You do it with ChatGPT, can make charts. Just make sure it's accurate. So let's see what we got here. Learning outcomes, understanding business analytics fundamentals, basic statistics, basic data management, basic Excel. Proficiency in data analytics tools, using Excel again and again. The only way you're going to get good at using Excel is to use Excel. Now, I wish there was some magic way I could give you a book and say, hey, just learn Excel. It doesn't work that way. To be good at Excel, you have to do Excel. And it kind of sucks because I kind of forced you to do Excel. That's what MindTap's for. MindTap's sole purpose, at least in my mind in this class, is to force you to do Excel, and a lot of Excel. It's not hard, so I don't want you to get the impression that it's hard. But it does take time, and it just takes things to go over and over again. The way I learned Python, the way I learned machine learning, the way I learned how to write, is doing it again and again and getting feedback and changing it, doing it again, getting feedback and changing it. It's not the most fun process, but it is valuable, and it's one of the best ways to learn. It's how basketball players get so good. They just keep playing basketball. Data management, data cleansing, you'll learn that the data that we give you, it's not going to be perfect. You have to figure out, hey, I want to keep this, I don't want to keep this. At my job a couple years ago, I found 2 or 3 patients that weighed 40,000 pounds. Yes, 40,000 pounds. That's more than most cars. It's more than trucks. And I know they don't weigh that much. I know somebody just typed the numbers in wrong. So it's finding those outliers and fixing it, because that messed up the average a lot. Statistical analysis, predictive modeling, things like this. Project development, these are some of your research tasks, your teach-back tasks, and communication. That's primarily your teach-back task. So for this class, regretfully, a book is not going to be sufficient. You'll also need access to MindTap. There's a couple different ways to get access. I think there's a 4-month access pass, which is $129. I don't know if it's $129 or $159. I checked it once, it was $129 like 2 weeks ago, but somebody told me that that's not accurate. But basically, I'll show you how to log in, and basically you can access MindTap and hook up your access code to this class. MindTap will basically give you Excel lessons or projects or whatever you want to call them, tasks. You'll do them. You have unlimited tries. I think I got everything set to unlimited. And then you get a grade, and I report that grade. Pretty easy. Yeah. You can use, there is Excel built into MindTap, or you can use your own Excel. I've had a couple people ask me that. I don't care either way. You can buy the book from the bookstore, or you can buy it from MindTap, or I don't care either way, or you can buy the unlimited. I don't care either way. Okay, so again, the evaluation method, I really cannot stress this enough. Because, I mean, like I said, I'm taking 6 credits right now myself as a student. So I understand the stress, and I'm a full-time employee. I work like 60 hours a week. Okay? And I teach and do other things too. So how do I evaluate you? What is my philosophy on evaluations? How do I figure out if you're a good student or a bad student? And I do that in the same business sense that I would as your boss or as a coworker. In 10 years of being an employee, very rarely have I ever had a boss come up to me with a sheet of paper and say, "Hey, you know what? I need you to take this test." There are compliance tests and cybersecurity tests, things like that. But for the most part, my bosses have never come up to me and provided me a test and say, "Hey, do this test," because they don't care. They come up to me and say, "Hey, here's data. I want some numbers, or I want this." That is what I expect from you. So let me be absolutely clear. The midterm and final are super easy. You can take them as many times as you want. They're open for a week. I know other teachers don't do that. I'm sure other teachers hate me for it. I don't care. When you get out in the real world, you're not going to be taking a bunch of tests. You may take certifications, but again, that's a different thing. But when you get out in the real world and your boss says, "Hey, here's a CSV. I want you to tell me the average discount on product X and the average discount on product Y," you better know how to open Excel and do that. So that's how I teach. That's where I come from. That's what I expect of you. In this class, I expect you to be professional too, just like in the business world. Okay? So the bulk of this class is right here. Class discussion and MindTap. So we talked about MindTap already. MindTap is your Excel work. At least in my mind, that's what your MindTap is your Excel work. Now your class discussion, let me look a little bit more so you can see that better. Your class discussion is once a week. Both of these things are due on Sunday nights. Your class discussion is you interacting with other people. You staying current on current events. You doing more than just didactic book work. Because there are some people that are really great at Excel, but they can't hold down a job because they're dicks. They just can't communicate. They don't survive in the real world. And I don't want that to be you. I want you to be able to do Excel, know basic statistics, be smart, and be able to communicate and articulate your ideas effectively. That's where classroom discussion comes in. Classroom discussion requires you maybe sometimes to go out and Google something, internalize it, think about it, and then post about it. Hey, I work at United Health Group. We're a health insurance company. My boss might come up to me tomorrow and say, hey, there's a hurricane coming in from to Texas. How can we prepare or predict if that hurricane is going to affect our business in Texas? Very realistic. You might work at MGM Grand or Caesars, and your boss might come up to you and say, hey, F1 is coming back again. How can we do a better job at making money with people that come in for F1? How can we change the casino a little bit to entice more spending for F1 people? All very realistic. And to do that, you're going to have to go out and maybe do some research. Maybe not necessarily numbers, but you're going to have to articulate, talk, have a discussion. The short assignment or quizzes right now, I think there's like 1 or 2 quizzes. Again, everything you can do multiple times. There's a syllabus quiz. I'll even give you the answers right now. I don't care. But it's just, do you read the syllabus? Things like that. Again, I'm not a big believer in tests and quizzes. There's 4 projects. There's a research idea or proposal. That is where, as a data analyst, you have an idea, and you have to convince me that it's a good idea. That's all. I don't necessarily care about the idea. I don't care about the data. I don't care if it's realistic or not. I care about how you present it. How is your proposal? Is it articulate? Do you have some basic facts? How are you going to do it? And why are you going to do it? The group teach back, I call it often the teach back, is basically once you get to a certain level, you'll be expected to train other analysts. That's all that is. You want to train next year students. How are you, and I have examples from past classes, how are you going to, what's something you learned and how are you going to teach it? The Analyze Me projects are just 2 projects. Again, none of these have to be super long, super complex, but the Analyze Me project is I'm either going to give you data or you can find data on your own and just tell me about it. 1 or 2 pages, hey, the median is here, here's the visualization, here's what I discovered. I just kind of poked around and this is what I found. This is very common for job interviews. For a real introduction or even mid-level data analyst, I know I just did one of these for somebody else, that for another job, they gave me a data set and they gave me 24 hours and like, hey, tell me what you see in the data set. What can we do better? What can we do worse? So that's all that is. The midterm, I call it take home, but who knows? I mean, it's an online class, so what is take home? But right now the questions are literally 99% the same between the midterm and final. You can take it as many times as you want. It shows you the answers. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Again, because you don't see midterms and finals out in the real world. I don't put much value on this. So, discussions are due every week. If you miss it, too bad. There's no making it up. MindTap and ExcelWorks due Sunday. You miss it, too bad. There's no making it up. Right now, there's no planned extra credit. If I do find extra credit opportunities, I'll post it on the announcements and generally on the discussion board. Okay? And I guess on the assignments tab too. So a little bit more in detail. The research idea or proposal, which is, you'll find out more about it. I have some sample videos. September 1st is when I kind of open it up, and it's due September 30th. Basically, you have an idea you want to pursue. So I don't want you just to have an office job that you hate. That would be horrible. I want you to have a job and you're like, hey, you know what? I have an idea. Let me interrogate it. But the thing is, you just can't interrogate whatever you want. You have to be able to convince your boss that your idea is worth pursuing. I want to do this. How am I going to do this? Why is it valuable? How is it going to help the company? How am I going to communicate my findings? We're not talking pages. We're talking like 1 or 2 pages, a super long email. I mean, in the back of my mind, that's kind of how I see it. Some students do 10 pages. They have a lot of graphs, a lot of pictures. Some students do 1 to 2 pages, and that's fine. I don't care about the references. Say, hey, whatever, this speech, this TED Talk said blah, blah, blah. I just want you to be able to provide an articulate, structured proposal to me about something you want to research or do. This will come in handy for your future projects, both as an undergraduate and if you want to go on to a graduate or MBA school, it will become important. Then I'm going to jump to the group teaching project. The group teaching project is basically something you wish you knew, something you learned, either in class, outside of class, and how you communicate to the future students. Generally, you post on YouTube or you post on TikTok. You basically find hey, I'm really interested in this. This is how I learned about it. This is the problem it solves. Why it's important is what problem does it solve? And here's how you do it, or here's how it can make an impact. Again, the Analyze Me projects are, here's a data set, and I just want 1 to 2 page write up. Hey, here's what I found about the data set. A bunch of the whole class use the same data set. You can all find different results. I assure you that. So that's all. Nothing here is really that complex. This grading scale is A, B, C, D, and F. There's no plus or minus grades. There's no rounding. I want you to know in WebCampus exactly where you're at any time. That's only fair to you. That's only fair to me. I don't round up. I don't round down. I said right now that I have no extra credit plan. Sometimes I'll give it extra credit. It just depends on what happens in the semester. Like, hey, here's a really good article. Here's a really good website. Something like that. I give that extra credit to the whole class. But I want you to know exactly where you stand at any time. That's only fair. There's no class attendance. Okay, so here's something that's important. And I stress this more probably than other teachers do. Except for the group project and except for group assignments, you must work on your own. Now, I'll allow you to use ChatGPT. I'll allow you to use Google. I'll allow you to use a book. I'll allow you to use any resource, I guess within reason. I'll allow you to use any resource that you want. You just have to work alone. So you can't text people asking them for help. Besides me, you can't call people asking for help. You can't post online except for this class and ask for help. You must do your work on your own. And I cannot stress that enough. Like I said, it's not super hard. You have a lot of resources at your disposal. You have to utilize the resources if you have problems. If you have problems, come to me for help. But at the end of the day, I want you doing the work. Imagine you're a remote worker, and I hire you to do the work, and I find out somebody else is doing your work for you. How mad do you think I would be as a manager? I would be irate. I would fire you right there. So that is literally how I expect you to do it. We have a ton of resources. I use ChatGPT at work. I have no problem with that. We'll talk about ChatGPT here in a minute. I have no problem with using ChatGPT. I have no problem with using Google. No problem with you, downloading the book and Control F, searching the book. No problem with any of that. But you must do it. Okay. Number 2, don't miss any assignments. Okay. Don't miss. Everything here is online. You can turn things in early, and if there's an assignment due September 30th, and that's just, or Halloween. There's an assignment due on Halloween, October 31st. So turn it in 3 days before. It's not going to kill you to turn it in a couple days early. You can totally do that. You can turn it in a week early, and if you don't like it, you can turn it in again. So I allow generally unlimited takes on tests and quizzes and everything else like that. And you can upload the same assignment 7 times. I just grade the latest one. And on quizzes and exams, whatever your highest score is, it just keeps that. So you take a test and you get a 90, and you get an 80, and then you get a 95, and then you get an 84. It keeps the highest one. So again, there's no really excuse for missing an assignment. You have plenty of time to do things. Just don't wait till the last minute because you can have technology problems. Some of these assignments that you think are easy might take a little bit longer than you think. Some of them that might take a long time might be very easy. Just spend a couple hours every other day and you'll knock it out. And so if you do have a documented illness, excuse, a valid reason to not do assignments, let me know before it's late. We'll give you 2 examples of this. Last semester, I had 2 students, and I'll show you the difference. One student basically texted me or left me an email very hastily, even from his personal email account. He said, hey, my grandfather passed unexpectedly. My parents are flying me out. I don't know if I'm going to have a laptop. I don't know if I'm going to have internet. I have no idea what's going on, but there's an issue and I got to leave town tomorrow morning. So he emailed me that. I didn't even have time to reply to him, but he emailed me that. He emailed me proof later, but again, I was totally happy. And he missed 3 or 4 assignments. I waived them all for him. Okay. I had another student that missed the assignments like 2 weeks before the other student did. And she would, 26 days later, she emailed me and said, hey, you know what? My grandfather passed. I didn't think about emailing you. I didn't think about, but 26 days, no communication. 26 days after the assignment was due. So it was probably like a month and a half, probably like 6 weeks after she left town. No proof, no nothing. And I didn't excuse any of her assignments. And she lost probably, third or fourth grade in that 6 weeks. So if you have a problem, if you have a UNLV sponsored event, email me now. Email me as soon as you can. You got my cell phone number, shoot me a text. Hey, I have to go out of town. I have an emergency. Shoot me an email, even if it's from your personal email account. Generally, I won't talk to you about grades or homework or anything else like that. But hey, Richard, something happened. Boom, I got to go out of town, or whatever. Just let me know. Communicate with me. We're in this together. Let's see what else. I was just there. Okay, so let's see. Do not miss an exam. Do not miss anything. I think we covered that. Real quick, so know your librarians. This class, you really don't need to know your librarians super well, but in business, people think that once you get out in the business world, you just don't do research anymore. You don't look up things. And that's not, at least in my role and for the last 10 years, that's not true at all. We're either trying to figure something out, when we're trying to interpret something, when we're trying to move something forward. One of the very first things we do is go to like PubMed, or we go to Google and we try to find out what has been done already. What are our baseline numbers? If I'm trying to do if I'm trying to figure out something on solar panels and blah blah blah, go to Google and try to figure out your base levels. And one of the best way to find information is to work with a librarian. So you should know all your librarians. You should work with them once in a while. Just introduce yourself to them. It just helps because they'll help you get information that'll make your life easier. 2 minds are better than one, and these guys are great at finding information. Okay, UNLV has made all their academic policies online with the QR code, so I'm not going to cover a lot of it. I'll leave it here for a second so you can take a screenshot. A few more seconds. Okay, these are all the things. Again, Rebel Mill, generally, if you email me either through WebCampus or your official UNLV email, I'll answer it. Other times, if it's a personal email, I generally won't answer, or I might not even see it. We do have tutoring. Lee College of Business has GAs specifically for this class that are Excel experts and can help you with your MindTap homework. If you're having problems, reach out. I can direct you to them. Dr. Lee, Mike Lee, can help you find them. On the second floor, it says right there, second floor, actually not there, on the second floor of the Lee College of Business, a BEH building, I think is what it is. They have, maybe it's TBA, I don't know. They have a tutor specifically for this class, and they're College of Business GAs, so you can work with them, okay? If you ever need help, reach out. You're never alone. So, okay, so now, super important part. So if you haven't paid attention, this is another time to pay attention. So let's refocus here. Let's just spend a minute to do this so we can get it done right, so we're not getting anybody in trouble. Okay, so it's 30 minutes into this? Where are we at? Yep, 24 minutes. So super important. Pay attention. I allow you, I encourage you, I hope you do this. Use ChatGPT. Now I know I'm probably the only professor on campus that does this. I was one of the first people on campus to really use LLM. I had to go through a bunch of security protocols. That's no longer the case. LLMs are large language models, ChatGPT, Bard, Claude. They're all built into phones, operating systems. Businesses use them every day. I would be doing you a great and grave disservice by not allowing you to use them. I encourage you to use them. I want you to use them. I know it's different than every other teacher. That's why tests aren't valid methods of execution in my mind. Because you can just copy and paste an answer in ChatGPT and boom, you get the answer. That's why I don't care about midterms and finals. But ChatGPT cannot do a research proposal for you. It cannot make a PowerPoint and a video for you. Okay? It can help you understand the concept, but it can't do the Excel work for you. So the emergence of LLMs and other advanced machine learning like Copilot, which I don't think I'm going to use in this class, has changed business. I use both Copilot, I use ChatGPT, everything at work. In this class, you're allowed and encouraged to use these tools as long as you informally cite them. I don't care how you cite them, just as long as you do. So in the past, I told my students, hey, just like Code Assistant by ChatGPT or Writing Help by Bard or Copilot help me with the SQL. So I went back and looked at some of my past discussions. So yes, in discussions on your Teach Back, on your Analyze Me, any of that stuff. Anytime you use ChatGPT, just say, hey, use ChatGPT for improved sentence structure. I mean, this is what my students have written in the past. References, Claude AI, I used ChatGPT for improved whatever English. As long as you cite it, I'm happy. As long as you cite it, I'm happy. That's all I ask. Super simple ask. If you use ChatGPT, just cite it. Okay? Failure to cite, like assistance from AI tools, will result in a 0 for that assignment. Simple enough. And I've had to give out a couple of zeros because students fail to cite it. And I don't understand that. I don't care. I want you to use it. You don't use it, that's your option. You use it, that's your option. Validate that it's correct, but use it. And then just say, hey, I use ChatGPT. I don't care. Okay? I cannot stress this enough. It's important to note that in this class, while I, Richard Young, encourage you to use AI ML to solve problems, other courses have their own policies. UNLV has their own policies. This is my policy and my policy alone. So you have to check with your other professors what their rules are, because it's different for every class and every professor. So I want to make that absolutely clear. It's important that you check with other teachers on what they allow. For me, you can, no problem. Number two, it's also vital to understand that don't put anything in ChatGPT or any AI ML that you don't want publicly posted. Okay? Or any controlled information or anything like this. So number one, anything that's derived from an LLM or chat or machine generated is generally considered public domain. So you can't patent it. You might not be able to publish it. Things like this. So just, I have a patent, and if I would have used AI ML to generate any of it, I can't patent it. And I like my patents, so, that's bad. Do not use AI or ML with anything confidential or sensitive. We don't do anything in this class that is confidential or sensitive, but if you have a bunch of social security numbers from work, maybe you have some type of player reward and you work at Caesars, don't post that into ChatGPT. You have a bunch of healthcare information, don't post that into ChatGPT. Okay? Just don't. If you have any questions, ask me. It never hurts to ask. Okay? So always ask me. ChatGPT, while it can help you learn, it can help you do foundational work, it can't replace your thinking. And when it's wrong, you should be able to at least think in the back of your head, well, something's not right here. Do not use AI to replace independent thinking. I want you thinking for yourself. I've got a comma there. You can tell I don't use ChatGPT on this because I'm missing a comma. Use AI without proper acknowledgement is plagiarism and may result in disciplinary action. So again, if you use it, just say, hey, use ChatGPT. I don't even care if you put it in the comments, like if on like a test or something, just, hey, use ChatGPT, put it in the comments. I don't care. As long as I know you use ChatGPT, everyone's happy. Now, going on this or going down that road, remember when we're dealing with generative AI, I can't control what it says. And sometimes it hallucinates and goes crazy, and it may create things that are insensitive, or may have a bias, or that might be sexually explicit, or might be racist, things like this. These things can happen. I don't think in this class I'm doing any live demos. I don't think that will happen. But if generative AI does something that's off the rails, again, it's we work in a professional environment. We'll just move on. It has happened. Literally not to me, but somebody at work where they were using generative AI in a demo, and that generative AI went off the rails. So again, nothing happens. Just remember that's generative AI. It can kind of sometimes go off the rails. I think Google had it happen at a demo in France, you know, so, okay, so now, let's go into, now we're right at 30 minutes, perfect. So 25 minutes is a generative AI policy, and 30 minutes is a class. I try and make this class super simple. Your mind tap and your discussions are due every Sunday. I have it at the very bottom. Due every Sunday. I have it on the webpage. So chapter 1, first week. Chapter 2, second week. Chapter 3, third week. Guess what? Chapter 4, fourth week. Cannot get any easier. Chapter 5, fifth week. So, you know, up to chapter 11. Cannot get any more easier. So for the first 11 weeks, you'll have at least mind tap work and discussions. You'll also have these specialized projects. I used to call them tasks or projects. So September 1, I'll open up the research paper. You have just like a draft due on the 15th, and then it's due on the 30th. I don't know when the 30th is, so maybe it's a Sunday, maybe it's not, but it's the last day of the month. October 1st, the Analyze Me opens up. On Halloween, October 31st, the Analyze Me is due. Okay? Now also the midterm, the first 9 chapters, you notice that it's kind of late in the semester. It's on week 10. So this gives you time to stress out about your other midterms. You don't have to stress out about mine. Mine, like I said, you can take it multiple times. It shows you the right answer, the incorrect answer after you take it, or whatever. You know, WebCampus does that. So again, you take it 10 times. You have, I think, a week to take it. I don't care. Okay. So then you do that, and then the final. Then you have the Analyze Me. Now this Teach Back opens up November 24th, 4th. And your Analyze Me is due on November 24th. I know that's not the last day of the month. It's moved up a little bit. But just be aware of that. And then your Teach Back draft is due December 1st. Your final Teach Back due is either upload to YouTube and to this class, or you know, I don't want to see it online somewhere. You can make it private or unlisted. It has to be either on YouTube or TikTok or somewhere. And then your final is December 10th. Now, I think I open up the final a week before that. So draft, final, draft, final. So now let's switch over to the web class. So yours will look a little bit different, but not hopefully dramatically different. You can click here and email me. You can go to inbox and email me. The syllabus we just went over is right here. You have access to it all the time. I try to do announcements, I don't know, maybe once a week, once every other week. Okay, we have projects to kind of do. I try to announce it, but again, you can't rely on me because again, it's your job to be on time and to be responsible. Okay, discussions every week. Let me open that up right now here. Let me go into a discussion here. So here's an example of a discussion. Again, these are due generally by Sunday night. Statistics are used for both bad and good purposes. We often assume that because they're numbers or facts, they must be true. However, I've seen countless instances of media and at work and other where statistics are just basically lies. And it's not necessarily that lies, are just misleading. So your task is to find a recent example. I don't care if it's 5 or 10 years old. I mean, I just don't want anything from like 1800s. Find a recent example from the media, from a website, to ChatGPT, you know, Google it, whatever, from or any other source where information or data was presented misleadingly. Analyze the example. Why was it misleading? And write a short paragraph, like 3 or 4 sentences, more, I don't care. Just give me something that you read and understand this, about how statistics were misrepresented. So if I present this in a media, I'm like, oh my God, look, sales are great. This is last quarter, this is this quarter. Look how well we're doing. It's not correct. There's no zero. There's no baseline. This is really what it is. There's not much of a difference. This is what I'm looking for. Here's some examples. COVID-19, the way countries report it are different. So that's how we get different outcomes from different countries. Climate change. A lot of times people, you know, cherry pick data. Election polling errors. Employment, unemployment rate is just a huge thing because sometimes they don't count people that are unwilling to work or unable to work or people that are under 18. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it. Stock market performance charts. Vaccine efficacy, I mean, gender pay gaps. You know, crime rate manipulation. There's a lot in crime rate manipulation where, you know, we start using AI policies to look at crime rates, and crime rate goes up where AI says it does. Why? Because we put more police officers in that area, and since there's more police officers, you know, we can catch more criminals. If you have 3 zip codes, and AI says zip code C is going to have more crime, and even if it doesn't, we put more cops in zip code C, well, guess what? We're going to detect more crimes because there's more cops there. Okay, and just, I mean, there's a ton of things out there. That's all I'm asking for. Just, you know, and again, you know, use ChatGPT, put a couple of visualizations in. It doesn't have to be crazy. So the discussion, pick one of these topics and just write a paragraph about it. Okay, so that's the discussion. So modules. And the modules are laid out 1, 2, 3, 4, just like this. So here's how you can access the Mind Tap and activate the book. Here's video tutorials on things that will help you. This is the office hours. If you have problems with Mind Tap, you have problems accessing the Mind Tap lessons, get to yours sooner than later because they can help you. I don't have any control over Mind Tap. They can help you much quicker than I can. Don't wait till the last minute. Here's week 1. So when I'm done with this PDF and other PDF, it will be posted up here. You can see that this is kind of the modules you kind of have to go through. This is not clickable or anything, but once you go back over here, you can go to Mind Tap and do that. So like right here. This would take me right into Mind Tap. It's only worth 1 point, and boom. Okay. I should pause it while it loads. Start assignment now. Again, this is 1 point. Here. College annual fee. They probably want you to change something here, and then answer a question here, and boom, boom. You know, there's your answer. You hit submit, and boom, you're done. Okay. So there you go, 0. Good job. So let me go back home. So those 3 top parts right there. Announcements only. I think they email you too. So discussions every week. Modules have every week. You have a week-by-week plan, which is basically kind of what we covered. This is just extra resources. Feel free to email me. I'll add things on here. But this is just things students have emailed me. Maybe I have a bunch of YouTube videos I need to add on here. I thought I did. I guess they didn't get updated. But just, you know, there's a good book on statistics right here. LinkedIn Learning, I think it's on here. Tableau visualization, where you get extra data sets. Honestly, you don't really use that much. And that's a little bit about me. I think I got my cell phone number on here. So easy peasy. Okay. If you have questions, let me know. Another additional thing too is, I just thought about this. Some of these other weeks here, there's so you go through and you can read here the extra videos. There's a PowerPoint. This is the PowerPoint from the book company. But down here below this, maybe not this week, on some of these weeks, there's extra stuff that you got to do down below this. It's optional reading. Let's see if it loads. But you'll see it below the bottom of that. So always make sure you scroll down to the bottom of the page. Okay? If you have any questions or problems, let me know. On that, have a great day. Thank you.